This video in my Calculus Try It series is meant to be done at the end of a calculus course, maybe right before you take the AP exam. So I'm going to ask you to pause it and try these, and then I will show you my answers. But before you pause, just be aware you should know L'Hopital's rule to do this set. All right, let me show you my work. The first thing I would always do with any limit problem is just simply plug the number in. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So let me just make a note. And if I plug 2 into the bottom, I get 5. And therefore, that is the limit. Now, what this tells me, the fact that I could just substitute the problem in, or the number in with no problem, there's no issue there. The function is continuous at that point. Now, obviously, it's not continuous at -3 because that would make the bottom 0. But at the point you've asked me to evaluate the limit, I had no problems plugging that in. And therefore, the limit exists and the function's continuous there. Next, we're going to plug 4 in to this. Well, the top, 5 times 4 minus 3, the top is going towards 17. But the bottom, of course, is going towards 0. Well, dividing by 0, of course, you cannot do, so this limit does not exist. And what this tells me is that at 4, if you can just kind of imagine at 4, I must have some kind of asymptote, some infinite limit happening at 4. You cannot divide by 0. In the next problem, let's try and plug in 2. So if I plug 2 in, I get 0 on top. And if I plug it into the bottom, 2 squared plus 4 is 8. Well, this tells me, 0 divided by 8 is 0. That is my limit. Okay. So if 0 is in the denominator, you're dividing by 0. That means in the graph there was an asymptote and the limit doesn't exist. But if the 0 is in the numerator, we can proceed because 0 divided by a number is 0. All right, plugging 5 in. Well, here I'm going to be very careful with my notation, and I would urge you to go watch another one of my videos on L'Hopital's rule in the AP exams. But if you plug 5 in here, you get 0. And 5 cubed minus 125 is also 0. So the way we should write that is to say the top and the bottom are both going to 0. So we get to use L'Hopital's rule. And make sure you don't write 0 divided by 0. That is an incorrect answer. You can use arrows to say which way this is going. Okay. L'Hopital's rule says if I take the derivative at the top and I take the derivative of the bottom, I can try and reevaluate the limit. Well, 1 over 3 times 5 squared, so it's 1 over 75, and that is my limit. Okay, evaluating this at 0. Well, e to the 0 is 1, cosine of 0 is 1, so I end up with 1 minus 1 on the top. 2 times 0 is 0. So once again, the top is going to 0 and the bottom is going to 0. So we can use L'Hopital. I don't leave myself a ton of room here. The derivative of the top divided by the derivative of the bottom. Notice we don't use any kind of quotient rule here. Okay, well, the derivative of e to the 0 is 1, and the sine of 0 is 0. So the top is 1 and the bottom is 2, and my limit is 1/2. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. I've got a whole series of videos about trying different things with calculus on your own and then seeing my work.